The Centro Protesi Inail, Italian Workers' Compensation Authority Prostheses Centre of Vigorso di Budrio, Bologna, was founded by Professor Johannes Schmidl in 1961. Requested by Inail to provide prostheses services directly for people who have suffered injuries in the workplace, since 1984, when Decree Law 782 was issued, it has been able to accommodate anyone suffering permanent injuries to the upper and lower limbs. The Centro Protesi is the only centre of its kind. It has an internal prosthetic and orthotic workshop, a health division with 90 beds for full-time or day hospital admission, rehabilitation gyms and an outpatient physiotherapy department. The centre is ISO 9001 certified and it is accredited by Regione Emilia-Romagna. The Centro Protesi provides prostheses and orthopedic aids alongside user-functional and psychosocial rehabilitation training, as well as a series of services and advice aimed to obtain the maximum possible recovery for the patient. The patient is considered as a whole according to the biopsychosocial model, which considers within the prostheses rehabilitation program different points of view such as technical, medical, psychological and social. This methodology aims to make the opportunity for reintegration into the job market, the family and social life realistic. The prostheses rehabilitation process begins upon arrival at the centre. The reception welcomes the patient and provides information on the criteria and procedures for access to the centre's services, explaining to users and their relatives how to use the services provided. For the people who come to the centre, the first examination is the first meeting with a multidisciplinary team, consisting of the doctor, the orthopaedic technician, the physiotherapist, the nurse, the psychologist and the social worker. At this stage, the personalised project is drawn up, defining the rehabilitation objective in relation to the patient's age, physical conditions, personal requirements, motivations and his or her background. Therefore, the psychosocial interview at the first examination is fundamental, as it allows the team to get to know the person and find out about his or her experience, story and social background. A trauma can cause a great change to a person's life, therefore it is important to make an overall evaluation with the person of his or her situation, emotional and psychological state, and his or her expectations and needs. Once the prostheses rehabilitation process has been drawn up, the patient will then be accompanied through every step, from the construction of the prostheses to user training, psychosocial support and periodic checkups, right up to the team's final evaluation. The main element characterising the technical work of the centre is the socket, considered to be the heart of the prosthesis. In fact, the socket is the part of the prosthesis that houses the stump. It is built using a plaster cast straight onto the patient. This ensures that maximum personalisation and optimal wearability of the aid are obtained, constantly searching for technical solutions that make the use of the prosthesis increasingly more comfortable. Great attention is dedicated to the subsequent construction steps, to the choice of the most suitable technologies and components. More and more evolved feet, hands and knees that require minimum control on the part of the patient. The sensors, microprocessors and materials obtained from light alloys ensure that the prostheses, both for lower and upper limbs, are increasingly closer to the operating characteristics of a natural limb, without neglecting the aesthetic aspect, which is fundamental for the patient to accept the prosthesis and feel that it is part of him or her. Such sophisticated technical devices require special training. For the best results, it is fundamental to teach the correct use of a prosthesis or an orthopaedic aid. This task is entrusted to the Functional Rehabilitation Unit, where the prosthesis rehabilitation plan, drawn up during the first examination, is put into practice. Here, patients learn to use the prosthesis and the orthopaedic aids correctly in order to become as independent as possible in their everyday life. Walking, looking after their own personal hygiene, feeding themselves, the aim is to create an extremely customised prosthesis rehabilitation project according to the real requirements of each patient. Although its primary aim was to specialise in prostheses, the centre has also been providing aids for a number of years now, in order to respond to all motor disability requirements. The aids area provides specialist advice and supplies the most suitable technical devices through personalised interventions according to each patient's specific pathologies, also through home visits for the more complex cases. It also provides training for patients and their relatives on the use of special devices and supplies IT and domotic aids, automated and environmental control systems. A very important aspect connected with social reintegration and regaining individual independence is obtaining a driving license. Therefore, with the aim of supporting patients while they are obtaining a special driving license, the Centro Protesi Inail has activated the Mobility Service Centre, which deals with the overall issue of vehicles driven by people with disabilities. Through a medical and technical team, the service evaluates the person's driving skills using a simulator and some cars with adapted controls. It offers advice on the relevant legislation, the choice and adaptation of the vehicle. It also has an internal workshop fitting vehicles with driving and access adaptations. The theme of social recovery also means tackling the issue of reintegration into the job market. There is a work integration service active at the Centro Protesi for anyone who, following their prosthesis rehabilitation treatment, expresses a need to plan their reintegration into the job market. Coordinated by the psychosocial service, it provides information, orientation, support during the active search for a job, and it offers the opportunity for IT training. Alongside production and rehabilitation training, the Centro Protesi carries out significant research and experimentation work that aims to introduce innovation and improvements in the construction and use of orthopaedic aids. An applied approach to research which translates into technical solutions to obtain prostheses devices that are increasingly easy to wear and that can therefore increase the independence of the person who uses them. In this field, the Centro Protesi has numerous partnerships with research centres and Italian and foreign universities and the most important companies in the industry. Amateur and competitive sport is a fundamental element of a person's complete integration for regaining self-esteem and independence. In fact, in the sports field, the most spectacular results can be observed. The use of new materials such as carbon, Kevlar and titanium has made it possible to build prostheses that are increasingly reliable and high performance, allowing numerous athletes treated at the Centro Protesi to win great awards in various disciplines, competing in national and international competitions. Or more simply, to be able to do their favourite sport. A strategic point is the continuous training that keeps all the operators of the Centro Protesi busy in technical and professional training courses. Besides courses aimed to improve the quality of the relationship with the patient, this aims to put every operator in line with the company values and mission. Alongside the internal training, the Centro Protesi is also committed to teaching and training some university degree courses. Moreover, every year the centre receives delegations for didactic and instructional visits. With the aim to provide a more widespread service for its users, Inail has implemented an extension plan for the service by opening in 1996 a branch of the Centro Protesi in Rome. The branch, which is ISO 9001 certified, operates according to the same model as the Budrio Centre, in a state-of-the-art equipped orthopaedic workshop and in an experienced rehabilitation department. The assistive and technical aids area has also been improved with assistance points situated in local Inail facilities and in specialised centres for acute patients. The prosthesis and rehabilitation assistance and the supply of aids for independence, mobility and sport are key and qualifying parts of Inail's institutional activity that aim to provide maximum reintegration of the patient's working skills and psychophysical state of health for fitting back into social life in all its many facets. This service philosophy is carried out to the full in the work of the Centro Protesi Inail.